Hi everyone, it's Claire Milam, and we are talking about going from kind of a rut where you aren't feeling as fulfilled in your everyday life and you want to feel more purpose and fulfillment. This is really something that I embrace in my life, and I really enjoy coaching women about. So, how can you find more meaning in your life? Like, what are some of those big dreams you've had ever since you were a little girl? What are those things that society or culture or yourself kind of shut down? I mean, for me, when I was a child, I loved to play in this little cluster of Mount Laurel trees in my front yard. And I also like to play on this really back part of the playground at my elementary school. And what I realized I was doing is I was talking to fairies. And it was on such a subtle level that I don't even know if I was fully aware of it, but it was incredibly comforting to me. And when I was in Mount Shasta in 2011 was when I really had this, 30 years later, this like full circle moment, like, oh my gosh, I love flower fairies. I love like the earth fairies. And I hadn't been able to express it until that moment. So, nowadays, like when I garden, when I go on a hike, when I go to a sacred site, I really reconnect with that energy, and I just love it. And my daughter is really connected to that and probably has been more able to be throughout her whole life, which is really, 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 really cool. Water is so nourishing, and I like to bless my water. This water actually has a little bit of electrolyte in it too. So my community is all about helping you dive into your inner power, tap into your passions. It can also be something as mundane and practical as nourishing food for yourself and your family, right? Because we can get where we do takeout and fast food or packaged food, and that's great if that really nourishes you. How can you like intentionally meal plan around that? But for me, when I eat whole foods and meal prep and, like actually cook beans from scratch, cook, grains from scratch, cook veggies from scratch, it feels so good to me. Even when I roast like my own nuts, and it's incredibly, incredibly gratifying to me and very nourishing to me. So, when I'm off teaching in the summer, I have a little more time. And so then I dip more into that. And then, I meal prep, I grocery plan, I buy food out. And I'm wondering how just nourishing yourself and or your family or for parties, right, for entertaining, can become more fulfilling for you. It's okay to feel like uncertain about the path ahead. That's really where the transformation happens. And that's where my coaching and my community is so honored to come alongside you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm Claire Milam, and you are capable of bringing every dream you've ever dreamed to fruition.